It's Advent. Actually, we're a couple days into Advent. Sunday was the beginning of Advent, and kind of snuck up on me, guys. On Tuesday, we still had the Advent wreath in the attic, so that kind of tells you where we were at. This got me to thinking, so often these liturgical seasons can be so fruitful and so wonderful, but other times they can actually bring quite a bit of stress and pressure for us moms. So I wanted to come on this video to give you 10 simple, no fuss Advent ideas. Now, before I dive into these 10, let me just tell you, this is not a list of 10 things to do. This is not a to-do list, okay? You know if you're the one that I need to be telling this, because we get inspired by things we see online, ideas we hear, and then we get kind of overwhelmed. And how does this really fit into my life? So when you hear this list of 10, I want you to take one or maybe two things that speak to you and make it your own. This is not how to do Advent video, okay? Just some cool ideas. Number one, the Advent wreath. Duh, right? But how do we make it really simple? One way to make it super simple is to add what you were doing with the Advent wreath to a routine that you do already. So maybe after dinner cleanup, where you can tag it onto something, you can do Advent prayers, you have all sorts of books that you can go through, but this is my little secret for keeping the Advent wreath super simple on years that it just feels so hectic. Just light the candle and turn on a song. We like to listen to O Come, O Come, Emmanuel. On those nights, weeknights, it's just so busy and crazy, and maybe you're not going to get the full-blown prayers and readings and all that stuff. So just doing a simple thing like that can have a big impact. Number two, the Jesse tree, another great tradition where you're going to be reading different readings from the Bible all the way up until Christmas. So I wanted to point out this amazing resource. I call this a reference book because there's so much good stuff in it that it can almost be overwhelming the first time you go through it. But if you think of it like a reference book, like this is a buffet for you to choose the best items from, I think this will bless you so much. This is the Advent and Christmas Planner by Jennifer McIntosh at wildflowersandmarbles.com. Jennifer McIntosh, she doesn't know I exist, but I feel like she is my Catholic fairy godmother, because she creates stuff like this and then she offers it on her blog for free. And there's so much value here. So back to the Jesse tree. She has a free printable in her Advent planner of the Jesse tree numbers, and what she has done out of it is made a fun little game. She has this table set up here, and I don't know if you can see it, but Mary and Joseph walk down the Jesse tree, and of course all the instructions are here. I can do this. This is simple. This is straightforward, especially because she gives you everything that you need. You have it here, you just print it out. I can cut out a few things. You can get as elaborate as you want with the Jesse tree, but this is more my style. I like to keep it real simple. Let me know if you want to know more about this book, but I will link it below so you can get the free printable. Number three, create a family prayer. The family prayer that we created this year is super basic because I wanted to make sure that we were actually saying it. It is, Dear God, I love you with all my heart. Please help me remember what this season is all about. Because that is what we're focusing on as a family, is what is Advent all about? And so that's what I wanted to be our daily reminder. So I posted this, I just wrote it on a dry erase board. Could I have crafted it and given it a pretty frame with glitter glue and all that? Yes, I could have. I don't hate on crafts, I really don't. I just can't even with all the busyness. Doing too many crafts stresses me out. Number 4, 5, and 6 are all about the feast days. So they're different numbers, but I'm going to give you some ideas. So St. Juan Diego is on the, 9th. St. Juan Diego is on the 9th, and Our Lady of Guadalupe is on the 12th. What we like to do for St. Juan Diego's Day is a little play. And again, you can make this as simple or as extravagant as you want to. Last year, I just played pretend with the kids, and we had the bishop. It's a fun story to act out because Juan Diego sees the Virgin Mary, and she asks him to get the bishop to build a, what is it, a shrine in her honor or whatever she asked him to do. It's kind of late right now, sorry. And you know, he goes to the bishop, and the bishop says no, and then he goes back to the Virgin and no, and it's just kind of a fun thing to act out. So if you want to just play that with your kids, and you can be the cranky bishop or the sick uncle, it's a lot of fun. Now, my oldest is only 8, but I have a feeling like big kids, though they might roll their eyes, they might enjoy this too. Number 5 is St. Lucy's Day. That is on the 13th. We have a lot of fun coming up next week. The St. Lucy's Day, or the St. Lucia, she's the saint of light, and you may have seen some traditional celebrations of her showing the oldest daughter getting up early in the morning, and she has the candles on the candled crown on her head, and she serves everybody breakfast, and there's traditional desserts that you serve. So you can go all out on St. Lucy's Day, or you can do like my friend and I did last year. We were hanging out that day, and she happened to have baked muffins, and we were lamenting how we didn't coordinate a St. Lucy's Day thing. And I just kind of looked at her, and I was like, do you want to just pretend like that your daughter, because I didn't have girls at the time, is the Lucia bride, and we can put a tiara on her head, and she could serve us all the muffins. And that was it. Like, we did it in honor of St. Lucy's Day, and we just called it, that was that was our version of it. But would you know that it actually stuck, and the kids talked about it afterward, and you know, they were excited about it coming up next year. Like, it was a big deal to them, even though it was so basic. There's the baby. It's probably gonna be at least a year before I can do a YouTube video by myself, just saying. Number 6 is St. Nicholas's Day, and St. Nicholas's Day is coming up. I think it's tomorrow. St. Nicholas's Day is tomorrow. What you do on that day, what some people do, is they will fill the children's shoes with treats and golden coins, chocolate gold coins and fruit and just all sorts of fun stuff. Well, guess what? If you didn't prep that and you're not ready for that tomorrow, this is all you gotta do. Throw your kids' shoes out and line them up somewhere and throw a banana in it, or an orange, or just random, whatever, quarters, something, just something fun. It doesn't have to be extravagant. You see the theme here? I'm not coming on here and telling you just not to try this Advent, but I am telling you to give yourself a break if it doesn't look the way you think it should. Because what is Advent all about? It's not about us. It's not about our efforts. It's about our yes to God and allowing Him to work within us. Number 7, do a novena. Now, if you struggle with scrupulosity, this is a very good opportunity to work on that, because most of the Advent novenas have started already. And as a scrupulous person, you may try to catch up, or if you miss a day, you might kind of freak out. But why don't you try to jump in where you are and jump on the novena? So the St. Andrew novena started November 30th, and it goes till December 25th or 4th. It's 25 days. And you say a prayer a couple of times. It's not a couple times. It's like 13 times a day. Let me just tell the story. The St. Andrew novena was the first novena I was ever introduced to. And I was really confused, because typically novenas are 9-day prayers, and St. Andrew novena is not. It's like one of the only ones that's super long. And it also is formatted differently where you pray it several times in the day. And I was brand new to the faith, and the wording of it, I didn't get it. I was so clueless, and I was getting so frustrated because some days I'd remember, other days I'd forget, and some days I did 12, or some days I did 20. Like, I never knew how many I did. I could never keep track of it. And so the St. Andrew Novena really taught me humility because, you know, when we fail, don't let that define you. That just defines your efforts. It's just an indication of things you're trying to do. And it's just a reminder that we are so imperfect and we need God. So try and work hard, but also know that it's okay to miss a day sometimes. Our Lady of Guadalupe novena was December 3rd through the 12th, so that's something you can catch the tail end of that one. There's also a Christmas novena that starts December 16th. So if you're not familiar with novenas are 9-day prayers, and they land on a feast day. And so you say a certain prayer every day, and then you have different intentions. Every novena is slightly different. But somewhere you can go for the novenas is the Catholic Novena app. I think it's called that, the Catholic Novena app. There's also praymorenovenas.com. Those are great resources if you want to jump on a novena. Number 8, learn a song, poem, or prayer. This is a beautiful time to get musical. If you're not musical, maybe a poem or a prayer might be more your style. But how cool would it be if you just learn it little by little, and by the end of the season, you've got it. Number 9, think of Advent as a little Lent. So Advent is actually a penitential season. And we don't typically think about giving something up for Advent. That's more of a Lent thing, but you can. You totally can. So maybe you want to give something up this Advent and just kind of do a little mortifications daily, or, you know, just a variation of that where you're thinking of sacrificing for Christmas. This can coincide beautifully with staying on track during the holidays with food, because so often we indulge during the holidays. At this time of the year, we see family members and we have parties. And so how about saving those indulgent eating days for those days, and then on the other days making a sacrifice and eating really clean and within your calorie limits. It doesn't have to be food, but I just think that it really works beautifully with keeping you from gaining lots of weight during the holidays. And you can offer the sacrifice for God, so win-win. Number 10 is read the Bible. Heather from A Catholic Mom's Life recommended reading the chapters in Luke. There are 24 chapters. Reading one chapter a day. And by the end of it, you're done with the entire book of Luke. And so you know about Jesus's life. I think that's really beautiful. I've jumped on that, and I didn't start on day 1, so yes, I'm behind, but I'm just gonna try to read what I can when I can. I'm not gonna be rigid about it, but jump in where you are. You're not behind. Remember what the season is all about. I'd like to share 2 other resources with you. Around the Year with the Von Trapp Family is a beautiful book. I love it. It's very traditional. They have lots of great Advent ideas in here. The other one that is more modern but also has traditional ideas in it too is Catholic All Year by Kendra Tierney. And I don't know if I said her last name right, but this is good. I like to think of these as reference books, because if you read these cover to cover, you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. But if you use them like, I really want to get cool ideas for this, that, and the other, these are great resources. So I'm always learning. What did I miss? What do you do for Advent? What are some traditions your family has, and how are you keeping it simple this season so that you can remember what it's all about? I hope this video was helpful to someone. If you think there's a mama out there that this might be helpful to, please send it their way. And go ahead and smash that like button if you enjoyed this. And if you're not part of our crew already, What are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. I would just love to have you. I would just be honored to love on you in this community as we pursue nurturing our families in health and holiness. So God bless you. Bye.